First, I'd just like to thank everyone here that is on the academic side of the university for allowing an operations person to come and address you today. I do have a bit of academic background, but technically I work with commercial services and development, which is the operational side. We're trying to get rid of that division. We try to straddle the line and blend it out a little bit. So what I'm here to talk to you today is about a project that is in essence a bit of a pilot project, but it was as much a proof of concept to my side to say engaging students and staff that actually inhabit and use our spaces in designing and developing and making them theirs is actually critically important to what the university is about. So I've used it to enliven the student experience, but as much to report back to my group to inform them as well. Now I'm cheating a little bit. I'm going to average out to 20 seconds a slide, so hopefully we get through that in my time limit. Basically, I'm taking on a whirlwind journey of a 2-year project to design up and develop and deliver some bike hubs on the university campus down in Sandy Bay. So as you all know, we as the university have a commitment to basically the 3 pillars of environment, economic efficiency, and social responsibility. But as the institution that we are, it is critically important that we do student experience in amongst all of that, which makes us a slightly unique entity in the broader experience of the human family, I guess. So basically there are frameworks involved. Obviously one needs to be able to say how you're going to approach something. So we have the community practice, the Education for Sustainability group, and the AOSIP program, which is the Academic Operations Sustainability Integration program, is there to provide a formal structure through memorandums of understanding between the operational and academic sides, specific proposal forms, then feedback and evaluation. Obviously, levels of participation form any sort of a project. Specifically for this, the core group is the School of Geography and Environmental Studies, have been with us since the very beginning. Sustainability group, obviously, School of Architecture and Design, and then the active group would be the other members of the operational side, the Built Environment group that have helped us build the activities, LARC, which is the partnering entity for School of Architecture and Design, and then on to different groups such as Bicycle Tasmania, Cycling South, etc. So the first thing in any good project is data collection and analysis. So what did we do? We said, Geography and Environmental Studies, you've got a number of units that would play into this beautifully. Can we get your students involved in this at all levels, from going out and doing the counting and following a procedure and a process, right on through to master's degree students analyzing that data. And of course, my team was involved in all of this along the way, as were sustainability reps that we have around the university donating time to do counting. So obviously you have to have a bit of rigor around how you're doing your collections and where you're doing it so that you can get your baselines established, so as we go into the future we can compare counts against specific locations and times. So we had a very clear sheet on how to go about doing this, and the count sheets were all there. Some students and staff were clever and brought out nice comfortable chairs to sit on for their 2-hour counting periods. Others were sitting in the grass, others had umbrellas if it was raining, etc. So we have been doing this now for 3 years, so late 2010 were the first counts, and then all the way up through this year. So our master's degree students then took this data and did some basic analyses on it, and one of the things that I found most useful for my presentations and going in and explaining the location where we want to build these facilities is using weighted arrow diagrams. So we could say that has the most traffic through it, so in the bike world. So we counted motorcycles, scooters, pedestrians, bicycles, and buses on and off, but we're focusing on the bike hub on this one. So location 2 on the Sandy Bay campus far outweighed the number of cyclists coming in and out of that area. So we said, well, that's where we need to do any kind of facility development. So then my group, we did an online survey. We got 181 responses, and we were basically asking, what would entice you to ride your bike? What would you like to see on the campus? So we've identified a location. Now what needs to be there? What are you actually looking for? So primarily, they wanted more covered bike parking and storage, they wanted individual bike lockers, and they wanted maintenance facilities so that they could fix their bikes then and there at the university. I've added electric charging points because I was able to get some external monies to liven up the facility a little bit and show that the university is cutting edge and leading on this and installing photovoltaic and all of that to charge your bike guilt-free. So then we went off to School of Architecture and Design and said, okay, now it's your turn. We know where we're going to build it. We know what they want. Design something up. So we had a number of students. There were 50 students involved over a 2-year period from a number of different units. So they were able to come down and do a site-specific survey, and figure out what they would build and where they would build it, did design visualization. That came back to the design review panel. We made some comments back, said, well, what are you actually going to put under those shelters? So they did some prototyping, invited us up to see what they were actually talking about for horizontal, vertical parking, following standards, but doing something a little off the wall as well. And then, of course, being architecture and design, we wanted it to look as cool as possible. So they were practicing different design elements. So then it came back to the operational side, and we have to do all the installations, get all the permits done, et cetera, working with Hobart City Council to get curb cuts, making sure that everything is installed and engineered properly, and then what the students had designed and built were delivered, and we installed them on site. So, of course, delivery was a whole of project team approach, and we ended up finalizing this. So we took basically a patchy, grassy area, very unattractive entrance to the university, and turned it into something really interesting that the community is going to come and use for bike repair days and things like that. So we've got a bike repair station. It's a fantastic looking facility. It advertises itself. You can park on however you want it. You can hang your bike up. You can put it down on the ground. You can put it in a locker. All of it is there for you. Of course, then you need to inform and celebrate. So we've had students involved at that level as well. We had state government funding recognized with the minister in attendance. We had the vice chancellor and the minister doing a little road race on electric bikes. We had an award of excellence for the project, which is an international award. And then you promote it through events on Ride to Work Day. It was in the Mercury. Like I said earlier, it self-promotes. We had an on-site QR code there that the students did a 3-dimensional QR code in timber. They didn't think they could do it, but it still works today, so it's pretty exciting. So what's it all about? Enhancing student experience. Make it easy. So basically, Jeff Clark from School of Architecture and Design was our primary contact there, and Emma Farrow within Environmental Studies. And those two things explain very well how they found it valuable for their teaching. But I'm going to just go past that one because this is the key one. This is student feedback, and I'm going to leave that up for my remaining time.